Good evening, and we're going to call the Parks Board meeting for November 15th to order. Ryan, have you had a chance to take roll?
I have, and we have quorum.
Fantastic. Has everyone had a chance to look at the meetings, minutes from from October 18th meeting?
Yes,
Do I get a motion to approve those?
I move to approve those.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Now, tonight, we also have a public request and petitions. Charles Brown with Boy Scouts, they're looking to use our park. Is that you, Charles?
That is me.
Fantastic. Come up and tell us what you wanted to do.
Okay, let's just get things off on the right foot. My name is Charlie Brown, and you may all laugh. It's fine. I've had 56 years to get used to it.
Charlie, could you tell us your address, please, for the record?
Okay, 3721 South Hocker, that's Hocker, Independence, Missouri, 64055.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, I'm with the Boy Scouts, as you probably know. You are in the North Star District of the Boy Scouts, if you didn't know. And for the purposes of this meeting anyway, I am the Klondike Derby chair, hopefully for the next 3 years, so there'll be some continuity. We would like to use the Jesse James Park, as we did last year in February sometime, for a Friday night, overnight, Saturday event to host our Klondike Derby, which if you have never seen one before, it's the dog sleds, it's, looking for gold, all that, except for instead of dogs, the boys pull the sleds. Or I should say at this time, the youth. We have boys and girls in Scouts now, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing. I like it. I advocated it years ago. What else can I tell you?
You do know that when we do this, it's trash in, trash out, right?
Boy Scouts have a absolute leave it better than you found it policy. So yes, we know that.
Charlie, did we have a date in mind for that?
Yes, February 4, 2023.
February 4th?
February 3rd.
Third
would be
and
the Friday.
4th,
Yes.
so Saturday would be the 4th.
Yes.
I'd like to say you've been here the past couple of years. You've done an incredible job cleaning up, bringing in. It's been, you have always left it better than you found it.
Good.
And it's,
I was actually sharing with the board before the meeting that, we hosted some summer camps with your district and everything, and, as well as the Klondike last year, and everything was left in fantastic condition. And as a park guy, we're always a little leery at first of new events in the park because you never know what's going to happen to the grounds, and we try to take really good care of those. But I can certainly give staff's endorsement for how they treat the parks.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, I brought that up so that it could get in the meeting minutes.
Okay, no problem at all.
No ill will toward you guys.
Not a problem. I would like to and we sometimes have to reassure the youth, the younger ones especially, pick up your trash, be mindful of your environment. Yeah, it's a training process.
Yeah, I get that.
So
I think in the years past, we were concerned the very first year about you had some arrows or something.
that was for the summer
That was
camp.
summer
Oh, summer
camp.
camp, okay, so
And,
not on the Klondike
We've
days.
got a
okay.
great place for them to shoot arrows. And
Right, I was just gonna bring that up,
and
so
it's
never
perfect.
mind.
It's
No
off the beaten
problem.
path, no one's gonna get hit.
That will not be my event. I'm focusing on the winter one. You all provided snow last year. That was wonderful of you, because you could do it again.
Well, this year it'll cost extra.
Oh, okay. I'll see if there's any room in the budget. Maybe we'll dump the.
We can work
bags.
something out.
Okay, great.
So we do not have any events in the park that weekend, just so you know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion for approval or denial? Can I get a motion for approval of Boy Scouts using the Jesse James Park on February 3rd and 4th?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Fantastic. Charlie, I will
Sure.
get in touch and let's shoot you over. I think we have the same contract we did last year.
Okay.
Shoot it over. We'll just need to get your updated insurance with city as an additional insured, but I can provide all information in the email. So
That would be
you're
wonderful.
good to go.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
More welcome to stay if you want, or you're free to go, however you want.
I intend to watch the full meeting.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Enjoy.
Ryan, bring us up to speed on old business.
Okay, Splash Park repair. We had a gentleman come up from Oklahoma to work on the bucket. Unfortunately, he was not quite prepared to work on that particular model of the bucket, so they're going to be coming back.
Oh,
We're working to get that scheduled with them right now. It will be fixed before we open. Wasn't super thrilled that the guy didn't come prepared. But that is the Vortex authorized installer slash maintainer. So in order for the warranty work to be repaired, we got to use it.
Did he not have a ladder, or what was his deal?
He didn't have all the proper tools, and frankly, he didn't have enough help
Mm.
either. So confident that will be rectified. So they will be coming back. Hopefully early December is what we're trying to get done. It might be after the first year, but it will get done, rest assured.
Good.
I am bulldogging them as we speak. As far as Hall Park goes, we have submitted our grant application as of Monday for LWCF grant for Hall Park. We met with Steve Casey on Thursday of last week and went over everything, finalized, went over every single checkbox, and we have all our ducks in a row. I mailed it off Monday morning. Cautiously optimistic about it. Eric and I always trade places when it comes to grants. It seems like this time it's my turn to be optimistic, I guess. So
Is this for full limit?
yeah, this is full 500 is what we're asking. I think we have a great project, and I've actually, Steve gave us an updated kind of layout design of the park. If you all want to take a look at that, it really hasn't changed much from previous. We put back in the custom pavilion versus the prefab rectangular one. This one has more of a square shape, and the double roof thing. I think it adds a lot of flair to it. Also, you'll note that the restroom is kind of colored in orange there on the south side of the map, just south of the pavilion. It has been moved to the south side at the request of our neighbor to the north. So we've met with him and talked with him quite a bit, and he's a fan of the project. He asked if we could move the restroom. Honestly, it's still pretty in line with where the water line is going to be, so it's not really an issue. So you know what? Let's make the neighbor happy, and so we moved it.
That's cool.
So it's going to work out just fine. One thing I do want to point out, we had a community feedback session at the senior center. Would have been first of the month, I believe, in October or sometime around there. It's kind of blurry now, but a lot of them asked about the potential for riffraff coming in off of the sidewalks, and I do want to remind everyone that we'll have what we're planning for is a very similar fence to what we have at Lions Park now. It's kind of the wrought iron look, but it's actually aluminum, and we're planning on having that all along the south and east boundaries. So it'll be a real classy look, and in order for someone to come in the park, they'll have to enter through that west entrance. So I think that alone will cut down immensely on people just wandering into the park. You have to purposefully go there. And then in addition to that, I just want to remind everyone that we are fully planning to do our full security like we've done in Lions Park. We're doing in the pickleball project. And actually, it's not on here, but we actually just installed security in our maintenance barn at Jesse James today. So we have full alarm, full cameras now. So protect the city's investment. So
Yeah, good.
we're really happy about that. So yeah, that's it. As far as Hall Park goes, we're We're definitely optimistic about the grant. Should probably know something early spring. So we'll keep you posted on it.
All right, that takes us to new business. Give us an update on them pickleball courts.
So we are going hot and heavy on those pickleball courts. I'll tell you what. If you don't know, we've already poured the what will be the skate park area, and that's been poured and tensioned twice. So that concrete's done, like done. Last week we poured the west half of the pickleball slabs, and that was tensioned first on Friday. It'll be tensioned sometime, let's see, I actually wrote down the date. Sometime next week will be the final tension on that. Those are solid. It's on the corners, it's 8 inches thick. So, I mean, it's a really good piece of concrete. All the poles are laid. We're looking, if weather holds out, we're looking to pour on Monday, this coming Monday, it would be the east slab. Then after that, we are going to be, looks like starting the retaining wall probably next week. It might be the week after with Thanksgiving and everything. I'm not really sure if they're going to get to it. But that retaining wall is going to be on the kind of the southwest, or excuse me, southeast side there, right, kind of along the trail as well. Sidewalks and curbs will be going in after the the east slab is poured. So look for that probably early December, I'd say.
How are they coming on water retention?
So I'd say they're about 80% there. They're going to have to do some fine tuning. We're actually on a progress meeting, and Eric Nolan from the school district was on with us. And he commented that, after this last rain event last week, it was draining much better at the dugouts, specifically I guess it'd be the east dugout there, where the bullpen and everything is. It's draining much better there. I think they got to do some tweaking still, but it's a definite noticeable improvement already. So that should be fine.
Yeah, I've seen several inches of water in that dugout.
Yeah.
Is it actually the ball field that we're trying to drain?
So the water pools right there on that east side really, really bad. Like where it'd be the side that's closest to the road there,
Yeah.
with the dugout and everything. So we're wanting and it'll take days for that to drain, because like Dan said, there's been times where it's 2 or 3 inches deep. And
Christie,
so,
they've had games where the kids couldn't actually use the dugout
right.
Yeah,
because the dugout's full of water, so they stand
So the
behind
goal
the
for that
fence.
is to drain a lot
yeah.
better.
I didn't know if it was like the ball field or if it was like that whole drainage area.
The field itself
It's
really doesn't get
basically that
affected.
right field side.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
mainly what we're worried about. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So there are a couple patches kind of behind the scoreboard that aren't really in the scope of the project. But we took some of the fill dirt, from there was left over from the grading, and put it out there to try to level out some of those low spots. And we had the Larry Brown excavator kind of work that a little, slick it up a little bit. So that should help them as well on that front. So I think it's looking like they're going to be happy with the work that's done out there.
Okay, tell us about winter sports.
So winter sports, our winter sport, I should say, it's basketball, and we are darn near full. We've actually never had this happen before. So, we're allotted so much time from the school district for games. We play all of our games at Hawthorne Elementary on Saturdays. And the reason we do it at Hawthorne is because we have different divisions, and Hawthorne has adjustable goals as well as an actual seating area for parents and spectators. If we have 10-player teams, we will have every single hourly time spot taken for
Oh,
games.
very good.
So we actually started a waiting list on our 5th and 6th grade division. We're real close on our other divisions. So this is a 33% increase on the dot from last year. We had 120 kids last year. We have 160 this year for basketball.
That's great.
So yeah, we continue to have a really awesome record year for signups. So just tickled pink about that.
That's good. Talk to us about the pool.
Yeah, so Water's Edge was chosen to be our pool designer, for pool concept, as well as that 11 acres there at 19th and 33. Kind of a comprehensive, what do we want to do with this area? Not just a pool, what about, phase 2, phase 3, that sort of thing. So there's going to be an open house on December 6th and 7th. We would like for all of you to try to make it to one of them. They're kind of going to kind of demo, what they're thinking as far as a plan for the area. Preliminary meetings, we're pretty excited about the ideas. There's going to be some sort of indoor component to it as well. Not saying indoor pool necessarily, although that option is on the table. We do have to operate within a budget. So specifically, we're thinking, possibly some sort of indoor recreation areas, meeting courts, as well as indoor walking, that sort of thing is kind of the direction we're thinking this is heading. So again, 6th and 7th of December, we're going to have this open house meeting, and it's going to be open to the public to kind of present. And
What time?
I don't have a time yet. I want to say 6 o'clock, but I'm not 100% on that yet. So we'll definitely get that out to you. But so normally we don't have a December meeting, but we are planning a December meeting this year on December 19th, specifically to talk about the plan review that we get back from Water's Edge.
Will they have it back in time? for that?
Yes. We've been assured that they will. Because ultimately after that will have to go on to BOA.
Right.
And we want to make sure there's enough time in case there's a ballot initiative, because that would need to go on before February.
So does park board get it first and then can the city council, or?
Yeah, we
Get it
use
first.
it.
You guys will review it first, and then city council will ultimately rule on it. But it's an exciting time for us. I think this project has legs. I think that personally, what really sold me on the project was the indoor recreation component. I think it's sorely lacking in Kearney, specifically. Well, I just said it. We are at capacity for our basketball games, which ultimately means we're going to have a waiting list and turn kids away. Now, I'm not saying we're going to have to turn lots of kids away, because we won't, because we're 160 kids versus 120 last year. So there's growth, but we want to continue to grow and add sports and add recreation opportunities, not just for kids, for adults as well. In order to do that, we need indoor recreation.
Senior volleyball.
Dude, we'll do anything if we have the courts. I mean, that's just it. We can experiment with stuff like that.
Don't laugh.
Okay.
If there's a demand, we'll do it.
Captain Dan?
I mean, seriously.
Do you have an idea what capacity of the pool is and the parking, just an idea?
No, not enough to give you a solid number. No. I know that the pool itself will probably take about, I want to say, we were talking somewhere in the 2 acre range, somewhere in that neighborhood, 1.5 acres, 2 acres. The parking would be encompassing for the entire campus, so that's not really a fair. We'll probably build a whole parking lot first, no matter what, and then that way when you phase it, you're not just building a parking lot as well. There's going to be a lot of options, and I'm not being cagey. I just don't have a lot of answers right now. This is going to happen really fast, though. As far as a few weeks, we're going to have an open house and have a preliminary design ready for people to look at and comment on. And then we're gonna take that comments and that feedback and, you know, come up with a design by December 19th.
Do you have a budget?
I don't have a budget right now. That is,
We gotta go to the voters.
yeah, so the budget is going to be determined by the public's appetite ultimately. You know, what are people willing to pay for realistically? Which will likely have a ballot initiative attached to it. We will never get a pool if we don't put it out there, though. So I'm for it. You know, I'm for growth, and I'm thankful that we've had the rapid growth that we have in the last few years within our park system. So,
Any idea how many, there's only one pool that's really open to the public. How many HOAs have pools in Kearney? There's one on Regency, right? And
there's
then-
one at Regency. Yeah, I believe there's,
Greenfield.
Greenfield's got one.
I believe there's.
I think there's 4.
Yeah.
Greenfield, Regency.
Because a lot of these developments aren't large enough to support one, really, than
Right.
a lot of the,
Right, and I mean, you know, we're getting a little into the weeds, but the thing that's gonna separate this project from a community, I mean, it's gonna be obvious. I mean, this is gonna be an aquatic center, not just a pool. So, I mean, we're talking slides, we're talking,
Yeah.
you know, your lap lanes as well, your diving well, water features, you know, potentially like a lazy river type thing, you know? It's gonna be, I don't wanna use the word inexperience, because that's lame, but it's gonna be an aquatic center. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's gonna be something for
it's not just a rectangular pool.
every taxpayer. Instead, that was the problem that we had before when this all started years ago. It was just a pool with lanes.
Mhm.
Well, that's great if you're on a swim team.
Yeah,
But if you want to go with your grandkids and, be in a 3-foot pool and let them play around, well, you got to have some room for that.
there has
And
to be
seniors are wanting
entertainment
to do
value
some
attached to it.
water aerobics, so we got to have some room for that. So if we're going to ask everybody to pay for it, we need to have a little bit of something for everybody. So it's a,
multi-use.
yeah, it's different than a pool at a subdivision, which is usually just a
It's a
square
rectangle.
pool for people to get
Yeah.
wet.
And, you know, you can have fun in a rectangle too.
Oh, sure,
but
you can.
This will be able to accommodate a lot more people and, have a varied experience all going on at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be people going down slides, there'll be people doing laps, there'll be people just chilling in the lazy river. There'll be all of that at the same time. So, you couple that with other recreation opportunities that could happen with an indoor type facility on the same campus, I think we have a winner. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's gonna happen fast. So
Not only for the residents of Kearney, but I think you'd draw from other communities.
I
with
think
that
we
type
will
of
absolutely
facility.
draw from,
I think we'll too.
definitely north of here, yeah. And potentially east of
I
here.
think east.
I mean,
Well, I think a lot of Kearney residents now, they'll go to Plattsburgh or Lawson, to take advantage of their public pools.
and they have great pools.
Lawson have a pool?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a pool.
And this will be it'll be outdoor. The pool will be
Yes.
outdoor.
Well, again, it depends on what the public wants to pay for, ultimately.
Retracting dome.
Yeah,
That's-
oh, yeah,
that's what I was
absolutely.
thinking.
AstroTurf now.
Yeah.
There's potential for an indoor element. I would concede and probably suggest that, there theoretically would be a max budget of, somewhere probably close, whatever our bonding capacity would be. And Sheila could tell you that. That number's already escaped me. But with that being said, you're going to get a lot more pool outdoors than you will indoors.
Right. I
A lot more.
think I said this last week. I don't know that I did. But the bubble over the pool in the winter so that people can use it at that point, like Clayview, I think they have a bubble. And so that our school swim teams can use the laps as well.
We're
Well-
definitely willing to talk to the school about
That
that.
depends on how the pool goes together.
No, I understand that.
If you want something that's gonna do that, then you're gonna build two pools.
Essentially, yeah.
You're not building one, you're building two. Because then you're building one pool for lanes that could have a dome. Then you have to build another pool for all the other stuff.
Mhm.
So then you got double pumps, you got double everything. It's redundant if we do two pools to do it that way. So the real thing is cost. You know, whether we can do a dome pool or not. We've looked at that before, and
It gets pretty crazy.
to get the multifaceted pool, unless these designers can come up with something new, we kept running into this problem of, are we building one pool, are we building two pools? To build one pool that's nothing but lane, you can do something like that,
You
like
can easily
Clayview
cover
does.
that, yeah.
So,
The
We may have a
is
problem with that, that's
where
what I'm
it
saying.
connects to the other one, you know, the other features like the lazy river and all that stuff. You'd either have to build two pools or build one giant dome. The one giant dome's not feasible, I can tell you that. You know, nothing's off the table at this point, though.
So
And-
how, okay.
Go ahead.
I was curious how residents are gonna vote for this thing, if they're
Oh,
gonna,
yeah.
is it a yes or no? And then you're throwing in these different options, so.
I'm
is
not
it-
prepared to answer that in a public
Okay.
meeting yet.
Gotcha.
Be-
I just,
be-
I'm trying to think through, like, you know, do we want a pool, yes or no? What type of pool do you want, A, B, or C, based
I
on the
can tell
different
you that-
budgets? So I
I
was
can
kind
tell
of
you that anything.
predict how that'd work.
So there's gonna have to be some surveying that takes place early on in the process. And that will kind of lead us in a direction as far as what we're going to offer the public.
Okay,
Um,
gotcha. So you're
With a
not,
survey, you're thinking a phone survey, a paper survey, online survey,
Yes.
all that.
There we go.
yeah, C.
You know,
Okay,
it's likely that we might even have to do a statistically significant survey, which, why being expensive, is very accurate.
we already did that once with YMCA,
With
7 years ago.
it's quite a while ago. But that was also specifically looking at an indoor facility.
Yeah, as we've talked
Pretty
about
much.
these projects, people have brought up the YMCA and how that study went and what the outcome of that was. I think the city has changed though significantly since then in terms of
I think it probably has, yeah.
the progressive thought process of the voter base and the government in general as well. I think there's a different perspective and look at that. And I think if you present a facility that's going to be cover multiple generations and demographics, you're going to have a better chance of passing it than you are the rectangular lane-only pool type of thing.
I mean, that's, very valid. The one thing I would point to, like I just said to Dan, that YMCA study was specifically for an indoor-only
It
facility.
was.
That's it. And kind of a no-frills pool as well. So, this is a whole different ball of wax. Again, we'll have a much clearer picture in like 3 weeks. So, and then, after that, concurrently, probably actually the surveying will start as well. So that's kind of aquatics for you. It's here, there, it's everywhere. But ultimately, I think we're going to have a really attractive product.
But it's off dead center, it's moving forward.
It's definitely moving forward. Yeah, Sheila is leading the charge on that, and she's done a fantastic job.
And she doesn't even know how to swim.
Well, I can teach her. I'm certified. So.
I like the indoor court idea. That is something new that
Yeah.
we had never talked about.
Well, realistically, an indoor pool in and of itself is not feasible financially.
Right.
There has to be some sort of recreation component to it as well, whether that be business, whether that be court use like we need desperately, or a combination. It makes the most sense, but again, we're early on in the process, but it's gonna happen fast. So, we'll have more info for you, and again, I encourage you guys to, and we'll send out an email to everybody as far as an actual time goes. I don't know that we have the time in place yet, but it will be December 6th and 7th.
Yeah, I'd like to help you out also. When the city first started working on this, we were looking at maybe a footprint of 3, maybe 4 acres. When we lucked out and we got 11, that opened up a whole lot more ideas.
Yeah,
I got a lot more room. Let's
take
turn it.
advantage of
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
have.
yeah.
So, that changes our perspective too, because before we were like,
And you know,
here,
that
so.
was bought with CID money as well. So I
Yeah.
mean, with the specific purpose of, putting in a facility. So we're definitely moving in that direction.
I have a couple more questions, sorry. These lifeguards and the maintenance, pool maintenance personnel, they will be city employees, seasonal?
That's undetermined yet.
Okay, and then second question.
I mean, that honestly, that could go either way. We've interviewed a lot of facilities, like Belton.
Mhm.
We were just there last week, actually. They hire it out.
Okay,
So, there are services that will manage that for you, manage training, scheduling, maintenance as well.
safety.
Yeah, all that stuff. It's a pool management company
Right.
essentially.
They do HOAs and all that too as well.
Ultimately, again, getting into the weeds here, but our number one cost is going to be personnel, no matter how we cut it. So.
And then my second question was liability insurance. What's that look like?
Frankly, I don't know any answers to that. I'm confident that whatever we do will be fully covered, as in.
Oh, I'm sure of that. I just
Whatever.
didn't know if there was any projection of costs associated with that.
I don't know,
yeah.
no. I don't think it would be significant enough to keep this from moving forward at all. But as far as that goes, I don't really have an answer for it because I never deal with it. I get to do the fun stuff. Yeah, honestly, that's a great question though. And I think we'll have a better picture once we decide what we're actually building. I think that'll kind of dictate what that might cost, honestly, how much water space we have. So if I had to venture a guess, that would be the most expensive part to insure, right? As far from a liability aspect, but I would think the water, how many feet of water, coverage space of water we have, square feet, I guess you'd call it. But honestly, to answer your question, I have no idea.
If you were to build a structure and have court space, potentially have some sort of meeting space or office space or some type in there.
Definitely.
If you tied it into a component with seniors, something, is there any funding aspect there that helps with the funding?
Potentially.
Grant.
I don't know, but potentially.
I don't know, just.
We're definitely not shy of applying for grants. So, I mean, if it's something we can, that's one thing we'll always do if it's feasible.
Worst thing they can say is no.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've been told no a lot, but when you get told yes, it's pretty great. So, don't know. I'd be interested in finding out specifically. In my head, I see a walking track somewhere in this facility, and I think that would be of great use to seniors, especially like in cold weather times like right now. There might be an opportunity for like a Silver Sneakers type thing to co-brand with them. I don't know. We'll find out. We're gonna find out.
And that's what this company is paid very good bucks to do
Right.
that.
Yeah. This certainly is not Water's Edge's first rodeo. I
No.
can tell you that.
And they get paid no matter what, even if they do bring this to a bond, and if they don't.
Well, yeah, they're gonna get paid for their time. Yeah. If we can't deliver funding for it, they still did their job. So. Now that's tiered out. I'm sure, there'll be an additional contract beyond the design phase and that sort of, when you actually get into the actual nuts and bolts design of it, not just concept and that sort of thing as well.
Any other questions on the aquatic center? Okay. Board comments. Christie, you got anything? Ally? Lisa?
No.
John?
Someone's gotta have something.
Great.
Sir,
Well, can I get a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, we're
Who
adjourned.
was it? Was it Ally or
It's whatever.
Lisa?
I'll give it to Ally. I'll give it to
Yeah,
Ally.
give it to me, okay.
It's like Family Feud. All right, I better end this meeting.